everybody. It's me, Jose Segura, Senior President. Welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with the President. Thanks for joining me. We'll try to make this one quick. I know last week's was a little long, so we'll try to make this one as quick as we can. Okay, let's get going. Supplies. Some of you responded in our issues inquiry that supplies was an issue, right? Just the lack of supplies or the ability to access supplies. And so I had a really great conversation with Melissa Dutra a couple weeks ago, and she had come through the gallery walk. She saw the poster about supplies, and in our conversation, she made it a commitment to make sure that folks had the supplies that they need. She felt like this was something that could be resolved. It doesn't matter if your site does individual class budgets or open stock. The idea that the things that you need should be available to you is something that was important to her, and she was going to do what she could to make sure that happened. We have plenty of money in our district for things like supplies, and so this is something that she's committed to. So I'm really excited to hear that from her. If you have any questions about that, please contact her directly and let her know if there are any problems. But this is something that she's going to be working on. Hopefully, the site administrators are already getting information about this. But your students and you should have the supplies you need from day to day, like paper and pencils. And you should also have the supplies you need to do the special projects and the extra things that you do in your classroom, whether it's art supplies or it's equipment and supplies for social studies or science or whatever it is that you need. And so super excited to hear Ms. Dutra say that that's something that she felt like could easily be resolved. LMC Joint Communication. We had our most recent LMC this past Wednesday. So if you go back to the email this video was attached to, if you go back to the email that this video was attached to, that's right. And you'll see a link there to the Joint Communique from this past LMC. Joint Communique was also sent out through district mail to everyone. So take a look at that. There's a lot of things that we talked about at LMC, including things like inclusion, prep periods for elementary, articulation for junior high. So please take a look. It's all in there. Remember, our joint communications are our mutual understanding of the outcomes from LMC. All right. Thanks for that. Go take a look at that. Lots of good stuff. Frontline Explained. I get questions all the time from members about Frontline. What do I do if I need to put in a request for this type of absence, that type of absence? Or I'm looking for something, I can't find it. It used to be here and now it's not there anymore. All legitimate questions and concerns. Frontline has changed over the years. Some of the wording has changed. Some of the shortening of words have changed, so it's hard to read. So if you go back to the email this video was attached to, you'll see a link to a document called Frontline Explained, where I went through every one of the different absence options that are available to you in Frontline, and I gave an explanation of what that section means. I even attached or added the contract language that goes along with it so you can better understand what each option can be used for, so that when you go in to select your option for an absence that you need, that you'll pick the best one that's available, the best one that fits your needs and the time off that you need. All right. So Frontline Explained. If you go back to the email this video is attached to, click on that link. Once you open that document, bookmark it, download it, do whatever you got to do to hang on to it so that you can reference it whenever you need to go into Frontline and submit a request for it. Elementary evening conferences. All right, if you recall, we had filed a grievance regarding evening conferences quite a ways back. We had gone through all 7 steps of the grievance process, including our appeal to the Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources, the Superintendent, mediation, all the way up to our appeal to the school board, and with no luck, right? At no level did any management agree with us, nor did the school board. And so we filed for arbitration. We were all set to go to arbitration, and we decided to ask the district one last time if they were interested in discussing the settlement, and they were. So that's really awesome. We're super excited about that. And so we met with the district and we settled on some language regarding evening conferences. So if you go back to the email this video was attached to, you'll see a breakdown of what the grievance wasn't about, the things that were not in question, what was the grievance about, the actual items that were in question, and then what are the outcomes of those different sections. If you click on the link that's in that section, it'll actually take you to a copy of the settlement agreement itself. And so you can read for yourself what it actually says in there. So some of the highlights are that if you don't have evening conferences, you don't have to go to evening conferences. If you only have some evening conferences scheduled, you only have to stay for the ones in which you have scheduled. You don't have to stay for the entire time, and that you need to collectively work an average of 6.5 hours a day during the total conference period. And then you can kind of mix and match that time that best suits the needs of your families and your ability to service your families when it comes to conferencing. And so again, take a look at the email this video was attached to. You'll see some examples and some explanations. And then of course, click on the link to the actual settlement document for specific details on the settlement. All right. Hey, everybody, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate your time. Have a great weekend. It looks like it's going to be another nice one. I don't know how many more of these we're going to get this year, but one more, I guess, not too bad, right? So have a great weekend. Do something that brings you joy. Spend some time with that so that you come back Monday refreshed and ready to rock and roll. Bye, everybody.